Oh my gosh, guys. We're live. Yes, we're live. Um oh wow, and I'm late. I'm so sorry I'm so late. And you know what? You know why I'm late? Because I've been talking to myself for the last 6 minutes. Yes, I was on. I thought I was on. I didn't click the go live button. Duh. I'm just being an idiot today. I the first thing I did, I had the camera upside down. Well, I fixed that, but it took a while. I had everything was taken apart and I put it all back together and I just could not remember how in the world did I get this camera from being upside down. So here I am with the camera with everything on the desk upside down and I knew that wasn't right and I'm trying to fix it and it's like 7:31 and I'm going, "Oh my gosh, I can't keep messing with this." And just as I went to click the go live, I saw the camera. I remembered what I needed to do, so I flipped it around and then I thought I hit the go live button. And I'm sitting here and I'm talking and talking and talking and nobody's joining me and I'm thinking, "What did I do?" But now everybody looked and I thought I wasn't there, thought I wasn't coming. And so now nobody's here again. Oh gosh, guys, I am so sorry. Well, I hope you can catch the recorded version because it's going to be a good one tonight. I'm using the Circle Sayings stamp set. This is in the new catalog. New catalog. Let me get the new catalog. Speaking of the new catalog, hey Susie, hi. Oh my gosh, wait till you see what I did. I'm talking and talking and talking and didn't hit the go live button, or I thought I did, but I didn't. And so I was talking to myself. So, okay, I'm not going to repeat that whole story again. If anybody watches the replay, they're going to see it and they're going to say, "What a dingbat." Yeah. So, anyway, this is the new catalog, and now I can open it because it's live for all you guys. You guys can all see it, and it has some pretty good stuff in it. I like it. I know there has been some complaints because there are some new in colors and there was a color refresh. So there's some new colors that not everybody likes. The new in colors are different from what I'm used to. Lately, the in colors have been pretty bright and vibrant. And this time they're very muted and I like them. I think they're very landscapey, maybe. I don't know, but I do like them. Hey, Linda. No, you couldn't find me because I wasn't here because I forgot to hit the go live button because I'm a dingbat. So, yeah, it's been since 7:30 that I mean, I just like actually realized that. Oh no, I didn't hit the go live button. Um, I, I was messing around with stuff, trying to get stuff set up, and long story short, I didn't hit the button and I wasn't here. Sorry about that. Now you found me, now you're here, and I'm here, and we're all here. So I can quit jabbering. I can tell you what we're going to do. So, out of the annual catalog, I took this stamp set. This is a bundle. It's called Circle Sayings is the stamp set. I'll tell you what, I'm being a real dingbat today. Ay. Here is this punch. It's 2 3/8. It comes in a bundle with Circle Sayings because you can see some of these things are circular and this punches them out. Now, you might say, "Oh, come on! I already have a 1 3/4 inch punch and a 2 inch punch and a 2 1/4 punch. Why do I need a 2 3/8 punch?" I'm going to show you later on in this broadcast. I am also going to show you some hints and tips, and here's a sneak preview of my scribbled hints and tips. And as we go, I'm going to tell you about them. And they're pretty easy things that you might already know, but I'll tell you what, some of this stuff, as you see it again, you go, "Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's right. I forgot all about that." So, you know, it's just a refresher course, I guess. So, we're going to use Circle Sayings. We're going to do some cute cards. And let me start with this one. Oh, wait. Okay. So I wasn't on last week. So I went through and I pulled all of the comments from 2 times ago and put everybody's name in this little box here. And Susie, you won the card today. I have a list going right now, guys. Congratulations, Susie. Um, I have a list here. So I have one Carol, Connie, Carol, and Karen. Ooh. I have cards for the three of you now. Carol, I'll bring yours tomorrow. Oh, Carol's not on. Okay. Well, Susie gets tonight's card, and today is 5/10. And Susie, I'll probably bring yours to our next meeting in June. I'm sure you don't care. Connie's getting hers then too. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, okay. So as I was saying, we're going to use the Sayings stamp set. And I'm going to use this paper. This paper is new designer series paper. It is from the birthday bundle, but it is, oh geez, I can't, I think there it is. Okay. It is Bright and Beautiful is what it's called. And it is bright and beautiful. It's neat. It's got some neat, very neutral but neat designs. A lot of them are with the new colors or the new ink colors. So I'm going to kind of pop some of those in as we go, and you'll see it. You'll hear something and go, "What? What is that? I never heard of that before." So let's start. The first card I'm going to do is here. These are really nice, easy cards. And okay, I don't have to turn this upside down because I finally did figure that out. You want a bingo too? Oh, cool. Okay, I'll do that, Susie. Did you get something cool at the bingo? Did it come yet? Okay, so the card is just a simple birthday card with a cupcake on it, and it's using the designer series paper. And inside, I have another stamp that says Happy Birthday. So that's the card. Here's our pieces. Now, what I did with this one, and this is not something you have to do, but I did cut an outside circle around the small circle. And I used layering circles dies for that. You'll see as we go. I also used new colors. This is Berry Burst. This is a really great um, pinky purple color. It's a pretty color. I like it. Embellishments and ribbon. Oh, good. Cool. So we're going to use the Berry Burst as the base. And then here is the designer series paper that we're using. And check out the other side of this. Isn't that pretty? So that's one of my tips and tricks. When you get to the point where you can't decide what you want to do with something, and maybe you're looking for ribbon or embellishments or something, and you just don't, nothing's working for you, flip your designer series paper over. That's how I started out. The first couple of cards I made, I would just do one half on one side and half on the other side, and that was the card, half and half. And they were some cute cards, right? Look at that. I mean, they go together. They're beautiful, right? So flip your DSP over if you're stumped. But I'm not stumped here. I'm going to actually put a layer of white. And that's your typical 4 by 5 1/4. Now, I only want a little of that to show. I don't really want a whole lot of that to show. My screen keeps getting dark on me. I hope it's not getting dark on you because it's not supposed to be. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so I am just going to put this 5 1/4 by 4 piece of white paper here on here. And now my designer series paper, I'm only going to cut an 1/8 inch smaller instead of the normal 1/4 inch because I don't want a lot of it showing. I don't want a lot of the white showing through. I just wanted to kind of accent the designer series paper. So I'm cutting a piece. And when I was doing this afternoon, I cut the piece the wrong way. I want it to be 5 this way, actually 5 1/8 this way. And 4 this way. 3 and 7/8 this way. Then while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and cut the piece that I'm using here, which, well, that piece is going to work just fine. And I'm going to cut that the same as my white, a 5 1/4. By the way, when you weren't listening and I was talking to myself, I said there's a possibility. Now, I will be back next week for sure. There is a possibility that I will not be back on the 24th. I will let you know next week. I will know next week for sure. So I'll let you know then. Um, because it's just, I just may not. There's stuff going on. So here we go. We're going to glue this piece. This is an easy card. I'm going to glue this piece onto that. Again, I'm using Stampin' Seal, which when it first came out, I hated it. And for some reason, all of a sudden, I can use it. I just couldn't get it to work right. I couldn't get it to come out. I was getting it all tangled up. I was really making a mess of it. I don't know why. I don't know what was going on, but it's okay now. So this piece is 5 1/4 by 1 inch. And that's going to go right in the center. Okay, let me see. Some of these hints and tips that I'm going to show you may not happen. Like if your fingers get glue on them and your fingers get sticky, hand sanitizer takes the stickiness out of them. So if you get glue on your fingers, grab your hand sanitizer. Keep your hand sanitizer nearby. Grab it and wipe your hands with the hand sanitizer. And it works. It does really get them unsticky. Okay, so I want to get full screen here. So there we go. That's better. You can see things better. I thought I had it straight for a second. Oh well, it may be a little crooked. Sorry, guys. Now, if I move this around, I'll probably end up getting it all screwed up. Okay, so next thing is I'm going to take, and I was playing with this different ways just to see which way I liked it better. And I kind of decided with this one, although that's growing on me, sort of. Okay, so what you need to do is get yourself a piece of white cardstock. And we're using the Celebrate stamp and the cupcake stamp. There's the Celebrate and there's the cupcake. Another hint, is when you're looking for blocks, if you're lucky enough to have a pretty good selection of blocks, grab the one that fits the stamp the closest. It's not a big, huge deal, but it is. So, like, this one is bigger than the stamp. So, if I put this stamp in the middle here, when I go down on my stamp set, I have on my stamp pad, I have to be really careful that I don't rock this at all because if I get any ink on the outside of this, it's going to get on my card. So, the smaller, the closer you have it to the actual shape, the better. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Berry Burst to do the celebrate part. And I wasn't careful with this when I was making the sample, but I'm going to be a little more careful this time and put the one celebrate at the top. Another hint is to keep your chamois where you can find them. Don't hide them. Don't hide them under things. I do that all the time. Then I can't find them when I go to. Okay, so that's all we need that for right now. Actually, I'm going to stamp the inside, so that's not all I need it for. I'm putting happy birthday on the inside. Also and I want it kind of up on the corner a little bit. You'll see why. Oh, that's what else I'm going to do. Oh, I'm forgetting stuff. Okay, so I'm also stamping the cupcake in Berry Burst. Now I'm finished with the Berry Burst, I think. Okay, I'm using blends. I'm going to use the I'm actually going to use the Light Bubble Bath blend. Yeah, that's a new one. Light Bubble Bath. Hi, Carol. Oh, I am so sorry. You actually were looking for me when I wasn't there because I didn't hit the button to go live. I was sitting here talking to myself for about, oh, I don't know, 8 minutes, I think. I'm sorry. So you were probably looking for me and I just wasn't even on. So it wasn't that I was lost, it was that I was stupid. So I was telling these guys that we are using the Circle Sayings stamp set, which is one of the new stamp sets out of the new catalog. This is it. And it comes in a bundle with a punch that's 2 3/8, which we haven't used yet, but we're going to. Right now, I'm using one of the new colors called Bubble Bath. And I also used Berry Burst around the outside edge here. Now, Berry Burst was around before. I think it was an in color before. And so they brought that back. I can't remember if it was an in color or if it was just a regular color and it came back. But anyway, I'm using that, and then I'm gonna use Fresh Freesia Light fresh freesia for the cupcake tin. And fresh freesia, you all know, was an ink color that was supposed to go away, but it didn't. It stayed. Unlike Evening Evergreen, which I really wish would have stayed. And you know, I'm still being stubborn. It's still in my drawer. I took all my other discontinued colors out, but um, Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent are still in the drawer. So there's our cupcake. It is pink and purple. Now we're going to take our 2 3/8 punch that comes with this. Or that is with the bundle. It doesn't necessarily come with it if you don't order the bundle. And we're going to punch that. Then we're going to stick that on our very first circle, which I cut when you weren't looking. No, that was, and now I don't know what I did with it. Here it is. This is one of our layering circle framelits dies. And I use that just to do the background. And you wouldn't have to. You could do that just like that, and it looks fine. You could put ribbon on it if you wanted to. There's some pretty ribbons that would go with these colors, but I'm trying to keep it simple here. So I'm just going to do it this way. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some of this, a little bit of glue. This is another hint. I noticed that some people are very heavy-handed with this liquid glue, and they get glue everywhere. And what they do is they put down whatever piece they're putting glue on, and they squeeze the glue bottle on it. Don't do it that way. Hold the piece that you're gluing up, okay? Stick your glue on it here. You can't put a lot on when you do it that way. You really can't. I don't know why you can't, but you can't. Then put your piece back down. And it doesn't have to go right up to the edge, because when you start smushing it, it's gonna go to the edge. Now this piece I'm gonna put on with dimensionals. I'm gonna put on the front of my card. Now I just did these, like I said, I was doing these to pick out which I like the best. I kind of thought I was going to like the black the best, but then I don't know. I don't know why I don't, but I just don't. I like this better. Okay, so there's Celebrate, and then we're going to do the inside quick. I just took a piece of white. I stamped the happy birthday up in the corner. There's also some other little things here. There's one that is a floral, like a floral spray. And I am going to, again, use my Bubble Bath stamp pad. And I'm going to put this. I'm going to stamp the spray. Now, this is a brand new stamp pad, so this is another tip. Whenever you're opening a new stamp pad, use it once or twice on scrap paper, because sometimes all the ink kind of gushes in one spot and you end up with way too much ink. But this looks pretty good, I think. It's a little wetter in some spots than others, but it'll even out. So I just put that up in the corner surrounding the happy birthday that I put in there. And then I'm going to glue that inside my card. Now, again, I'm going to tell you this hint one more time. Hold whatever you're putting the glue on up. Hold it flat, but hold it up. And, and you just kind of go like that. And you're not going to get so much glue on it. And there you go. So that's card number 1. And actually, if you want to, you could put some embellishments on it. But, well, yeah, maybe I will. What the heck, right? Everything goes better with embellishments. I found out at the post office the other day that, yes, it does cost extra. Oh, that would look cute like that. It does cost extra for these extra thingies that stick up because they cannot machine stamp them. And I guess it wasn't an issue before, but now it is. The post office doesn't want to have to send these through separately unless you pay extra. So I think those stamps were like $1.07, I think it was, for me to send through cards with embellishments and things like that stick up. So you might want to be selective about who you send cards to with a lot of embellishment. Just saying. Okay, so that's one. That's card number 1. Now we're going to keep using the same stamp set, and we're going to do pretty much the exact same thing, but I'm going to do a blue card this time. And I just wanted to do something a little different but the same, okay? So I'm using Azure Afternoon and Crumb Cake. And this is the card that I ended up with. Again, it just has your little seashells around there. And I will show you how I got that. I did the same thing with this card as far as the layering circles framelets. So that's cut out ahead of time. I used the Azure Afternoon for my card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I pulled paper out of that same pack of paper, and I like this one. And that's where I got my beach theme from. I don't know, this looks like an ocean to me. I liked it. So I just thought I'd go with that. Now, I put on this card, I put the white outside. And I'm sort of thinking on this one, I'm going to do it without. I'm not going to put that white layer on. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so we want to go 4 by 5.25 on this. Now I'm going to cut that light off of there, 5.25. So then it just has the blue as the mat. And I think that's good. I like that way. Again, I'm going to just use my stamp and seal here instead of my liquid glue for no reason other than I'm just using it. Okay, and then I flipped over another piece of paper because I like this blue here. And actually, it was kind of funny because I started with this. I was going to use this. But then I decided that I didn't like that. Oh, I am getting some nasty feedback here. Okay, let me know if you can't hear me because I had to move my phone because I was getting feedback. With my beachy theme, that just didn't cut it. So I scrapped that and went instead with this, which I'm just going to cut a little off the top, the blue. And it's about 3/4 of an inch with that. And 5 1/4. Hi, Karen. Hey, if you're just coming from a baseball game, you didn't miss a whole lot because Dingbat here, I forgot to hit the go live button. So for about 8 minutes, I was talking to myself. Yep. Okay, and I'm giving some hints and tips as I'm going through. And one of the tips that I'm giving is if you're heavy handed with the glue, don't lay your piece down and put your glue on it that way. You'll get a whole lot more glue on it than if you hold it up and just do this. If you get glue on your fingers, hand sanitizer gets it off, or it helps anyway. And something else, and I think I said this once before, if you like, if say I just stuck this glue down here and it, or just stuck this down here and the glue eked out on the sides, I always keep an embossing buddy by my on my desk because the embossing buddy, and you just flop it over top of your glue spots, will suck up that glue and it will get rid of the sticky so that your card doesn't stick in your envelope when you put it away. I think I gave that tip before, but it bears repeating because it's a good one. Oh yes, and I have glue on here. So I'm going to do that too. I know that I have gone through this before, but I have 2 erasers that I also keep on my desk. This one and this one. Now this one is well, it doesn't say what it is. Wait, here's one like it. Smaller. This is a Tombow sand eraser. That's what it is. It's a sand eraser. This will erase if you have small glue spots that you didn't want. You might be able to get them up with this. This will sometimes get rid of ink. It will definitely get rid of glue, but you have to watch because it may leave a little bit of a mark behind. That's working pretty good, but I always go for this one for glue. This is one of those rubber erasers, and I got them at the dollar store. I think there were 3 in a pack for $1. This was back before they were $1.25. So it's 3 in a pack, and it's like a rubber eraser. So grab those if you don't have one. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? I just used the blends and I forgot to tell you that one. If you're using blends, always make sure you have something underneath and it's not a card. Make sure you have paper or something scrap because blends do bleed through and they will bleed through whatever's underneath and it could make quite a mess. So make sure you use paper for um, blends. Let's see. Okay, so now I'm using crumb cake because I just like the way this looked. I don't know why, I just did. In one of the stamps in this set has seashells on it, and I like that. So I'm using the 2 3/8 punch again. And this one I'm punching out before I stamp. Usually I stamp them and then punch them out. And I'm using another new one, Pecan Pie. I like this color. This is a nice color of brown. It's lighter than Early Espresso, but it's darker and more sharp than the crumb cake. I like it. So I'll show you what it looks like right there. And I did what I told you not to do. I used a block that was too big for the stamp, and I got ink all over the block. Luckily, I didn't get it on my card. You have to be careful because if that ink gets all over here, it can very easily get on whatever you're trying to stamp, and it can make a mess. So I'm going to try just using the top of it, not getting the whole block. And there it is. So it's all the way around. And I'm just going to stamp Happy Birthday in the middle. Now on my sample card, I stamped Happy Birthday in Pecan Pie also. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in Azure Afternoon just to blend it in with the card. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. And then I also have that Azure Afternoon circle here that I'm going to use as the backdrop. These two get glued together. Again, hold it up, stick it down, and then I'm going to use blends to put the, blends. I'm going to use dimensionals. The Azure Afternoon, Karen, isn't that pretty? I really do like this blue, this Azure Afternoon. There are a couple new ones that I pretty much, I do like that bubble bath. Yeah, the pink. I do like that. We've needed a good pink. I never liked all the pinks that we had. They were all they all had something odd about them. So this one for the inside, because I already said happy birthday on the outside. If there's a saying that you want to put on it, that's fine. But I'm going to use this Pecan Pie again, and I'm just going to stamp the seashells on the bottom here and let it be just like that. And then when I send this card, I can write a note inside saying whatever I want to say. And again, this one, I do believe that there are some embellishments I could put on this, but I think I'm going to pass on the embellishments for right now and just let it be the way it is because I just think it's pretty that way. So there's number 2. I have one more. Same stamp set, same paper, same everything. And this one is, I think, the best. I like this one a lot. I used watercolor pencils for this one. And I did a couple of things a little different on this one. Okay, first of all, the stamp, I like that stamp with the waves and the sun. I think that's a very pretty stamp. This is another new color, and this is a color I really like. Lost Lagoon, it's called. I really like the colors there. So I'm using that. What else can I? Oh, I know. The I stamped it, and then I cut it out with a 2 1/4. And this, I told you I was going to tell you why you need these different sizes. Let me do it. So I'm stamping it in Memento Black because I'm going to use watercolor pencils, and I'm going to use my blender pen or watercolor pens or something. This image is small enough that you don't need to use the 2 3/8. And I'm going to show you something. This is another one of my hints that this is probably one of the most useful things that I have ever done. Yes, Carol, I am at the library tomorrow. Yes, I'm at Robbie tomorrow at 1:30. And then on the 18th, I will be at the United Church of Christ of Robezonia from 1 to 3. You don't have to be a member to go there. It's a nice group of people. And that's that. And that's all I got until June 1st at Wernersville. And I've already spoken. They have a new librarian at Wernersville, and I've spoken to her, and we're set up for June 1st at the library in Wernersville from 5 to 7. Okay, back to my tips. I take my punches and I cut, like, I have a 1.5 inch, a 1 3/4 inch, a 2 inch, 2 1/4, and 2 3/8. Then I have the star. I also have a couple of other scalloped edges, but I don't have those cut yet. I punched a little hole. And do yourself a favor. Get yourself a box of these rings. You can get them. They're like a key ring, I guess, or a ring behind your ring. I don't know what they are. They open and close like this. I got them on Amazon. They're not expensive. So I have a whole box of them, all different colors. And the reason I have a whole box of them is because, okay, number one, I'm using this for my punches so that I know what size these punches are. The reason is because then when I finished, okay, so I stamped that on there, and I'm looking and I'm going, will that fit on a 2 1/4 inch? Why, yes, it will. And then I can use my 2 3/8 inch for a background. So these come in handy just to tell when you're stamping something and you're not sure of the size punch that will work. This does come in handy. And while I'm showing you that, I can show you a couple of other things that I have done with those little circles. So there is a color coach that is just a whole lot of different color printed pages. So the colors, these come out like for in colors and stuff. Okay, so for example, cherry cobbler. I want to make something with cherry cobbler, and I don't know what colors go with it. Well, mint macaron, Sahara sand, night of navy, soft seafoam. So this gives you a whole lot of neat little colors. And if anybody has use for this or wants this, I can send you the file that you can print it out, or you can keep it on your computer. I printed it out, and I printed it out on cardstock so that's a little, it's good, durable, and then it's on this ring. Yeah, there's Berry Burst, and this is an older one. I don't know. Anyway, there's that. And the other thing that I find very handy, actually, I have two more things here that I can show you. This one is every color that has ever been out by Stampin' Up. Well, no, every color that's been out since about 2020, I would say. Um, and I every time new colors come, like now, I cut out my 2 by 2 square piece and I punch a hole in it and it goes on this ring. I haven't done that yet with these in colors, but the last in colors are back here. I just didn't make labels for them. I have I have a label maker and it does clear labels, but I don't have any clear label tapes right now. So I have to either get that or just put white labels on it. And then I have to do the new in colors. But so I keep that because rather than digging through my drawer to see if a color is going to go with something, I can go in here. And what I'm thinking about doing now is pulling off the colors that are discontinued but that I have in stock and pulling them and putting them on a separate ring so that I know that they're somewhere else. And this is the last thing that I want to show you. This is just a little size thing. This shows you, I told you once before that I take everything down 1/4 inch. So this has what it looks like when everything's down 1/4 inch. And it gives you the measurements. So it's kind of very useful, really. And then I also have another one on this side that's an 8, just in case. And I can take it all apart so I can slip this one like this 4 3/8 and throw it in the middle here and see, okay, is that going to be too tight or is that going to work? Okay, so this is just a very handy little doodad to have around. And I just cut it out of different colored papers so I could visualize what is going to happen when I cut these things apart. Okay, so long story short, what I did here is I colored this, cut it out with my 2 1/4 inch punch. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out before I color it. Then I took my 2 3/8 inch punch and I punched a piece out of this Lost Lagoon, which is this piece, which is also my base. So my base is Lost Lagoon. And then I took Pool Party as my mat. So this is Pool Party in the middle. The base is your typical base size, 5.5 by 8.5. This Pool Party piece is 4 by 5 1/4. Now, I just looked at this and thought this was crooked, but you can see the paper has that design in it that kind of slopes, so it's not crooked. It's that's how it is. So you can, if you don't like that, you can avoid that when you're cutting your paper. You can cut it off so that it doesn't slope. If you want more of the color variation, you can actually even put white at the top. However, just pick whatever you like the best. And on the back side of this is this little wavy stuff, which I think is really cute. And I think it works for that centerpiece. So I'm going to cut this piece down to 3 7/8. By 5 1/8. So that's just leaving me a little piece of Pool Party sticking out. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut this with my blues and my Lost Lagoon bottom so that that's what's going across. Also 5 1/4. This is going to get glued onto this. And actually, I'm going to use the green glue for this because I might want to have to move it around because it is tight. You see, I only gave myself an 1/8 inch around with the pull party on this one. And so, because that's so tight, I wanted to give myself enough space to move it around if I had to. Then this piece is going in the middle. I lied, it got too much on that end. There, now, this. I grabbed some colored pencils. I've got, what do I have here? The colored pencils haven't been updated, or I think they're in the process, or I don't know, but I still have an old set. So I have Coastal Cabana, Pacific Point, which is a discontinued color, Bermuda Bay, Daffodil Delight, and Pumpkin Pie. And I know either Bermuda Bay or, yeah, Bermuda Bay is also discontinued. So if you have your colored pencils, you have these colors. And I'm just scribbling with these because you know how I say you just do what you want with them and then go back with the blending pen and that just will bring it all together. So nice. I only want a little bit there on that foam, but Pacific Point, I want to get some pretty much in. And then I'm going to color the sun. Daffodil Delight and some pumpkin pie rays. Here's a little bit of Coastal Cabana in here. Not being neat at all by any stretch of the words. Yes, Karen, I know. That's how I am too. I like to have things, I like to have places for things. And the thing with the having those things on a ring, I'm going to put a like this thing, I'm going to put a little teacup hook up above my desk and just hang all these rings on it. And then when I need them, I have them. I actually have another one of these with my different size other punches, different shapes of my other punches. I I have a couple of label punches that I always sit and think, is that going to fit in that punch? Is that going to fit in there? And it's nice just having a scrap one there that you can just grab and look. So those, they do come in handy. Let's see now, the yellow sun. And just going to scribble in these rays. That's all the colors. So then I'm going to take this blender pen and I'm just going to blend this all together, and it looks so pretty when it's done. The last one that I didn't give the black ink enough time to dry, and I got some black in it, and it really didn't look, it kind of, ugh. But this one's looking good. You don't want to go over this when you're using these blender pens. You don't want to go over anything too much because it will start to smear the ink, and it will also mess up the paper. So you want to just kind of go over them lightly, and that's all you need to do. That works just perfect, just doing it that way. Okay, that's it. So that piece, look at that. It's perfect on top of that, size-wise. I'm just going to put a little bit of that glue on there. I'm going to take this, and just for something different, I'm going to put it on this side instead. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do as far as putting a greeting of some sort on this, and I'm going to tell you, I never did make up my mind what I wanted to do. Um, the first thing I tried to do is I took one of the things that they have. Let me show you. So they have these things that are like semicircles, like that. And I tried the thinking of you, and I just stamped it on white and cut it out. And I don't really like the way that was what I had in mind, was to do something like that. And then I thought I could do it aside, but no, I don't like that either. So what I'm going to say the best thing to do is to just maybe put a label, if you want to put a thinking of you or happy birthday or anything on a piece of white, and either put it up here or put it down here or put it separate. Or don't put anything on the front and just go with it. Oh, here I am. I'm off camera. Just put something inside. That's what I would say to do, because I like the front of this just the way it is. It's very simple. And so I really hate to wreck it. I hate to put anything else on it. Let me cut this down a little bit and put that inside. So these are pretty simple cards, and yet very pretty. And I think that there's something that is useful, very useful, to have on hand. So there we go. There's one, two, three. They're a little different, and yet they're the same. And there's other things I have seen done, like just change the paper this way instead of this way. Put it wider and longer, or put a piece of the designer series, the different colored stuff, some other way in an angle or something like that. Use your imagination and have fun with it. So, thank you, Susie. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I had a good time tonight. I hope you did too. I hope you enjoyed the cards, and I hope to see you again next week. Have a wonderful week, and maybe I'll see you at the library tomorrow. Good night.